Hey everybody on YouTube, it's mistress. I know I've been missing in action, MIAing a little bit when it comes to the YouTube. I've been focusing more so on our organization that me and my wife started, For Better Conditions organization. This is the phone number there, guys. You know, call us. This is the website here. If you have any problems as far as, you know, struggling with family needs, food, clothes, shelter, you know, we can't really help you with shelter, but just food, clothes. If you've got money problems, call us, you know. Things you need for the children, let us know. You know, we're here to help. We're a very professional organization, so we need paperwork with the stuff we do, you know. So you got to fill out a request form. You got to fill out that request form to get assistance. Because, you know, how will we know you really need the help if you can't fill out the request form? Anybody can call and be like, yeah, I need help. And here it is, you sitting being a millionaire. Please fill out the request form. You go to the website, you'll fill it out. On the website, there's our phone number there if you have any questions. Okay? And, I've been focusing on the organization. We had our first mini fundraiser event. I say mini because I think the room was only able to hold about 60 people. So we say mini fundraiser event. And it went well if you look at it as far as the people that showed up. Out of the people that showed up, how many people donated and purchased the book, it went well. It went really well. Percentage-wise, that was great. When you're looking at how many people showed up, I mean, we try to extend our hand to other organizations. Other organizations, because we understand that other organizations work with other organizations in order to bring more people to the fundraiser events. We understand that. The problem we ran into, though, was that these other organizations are scared to work with an organization like For Better Conditions, which has a book called www.worldwidewar. And these organizations, which they probably get a lot of their financial subsidization from, like World Bank, IMF, Federal Reserve, you know what I'm saying? So they're very skeptical because this type of stuff, and then, you know, the relation to this with Jews and stuff is just like, oh my goodness, we don't know what this gonna mean for our PR, our public relations. You know, people might not like us because we're supporting your organization. So people are scared to support us. Churches are scared. I mean, here it is. You know, people know what it says in the Bible about gays, but then, you know, you have pastors try to twist and turn or whatever to try to get some more money from out the congregation to do what they got to do to accept gays and stuff like that. When gays can have their own church and, you know, stuff for them to support their needs. They don't have to go into a church that already been here for 60 years, 100 years, and try to get help from that church when they have to be traditional. They're supposed to be. But, you know, I mean, you get the slick talking stuff, and then nobody wants to work with the person who tells the truth all the time. So a lot of organizations are scared to work with us because we're trying to create a revolution. That's why we have the content. We're selling the content. All proceeds of the book will be going towards the For Better Condition organization. We'll be helping others one giving hand at a time. What we're trying to do is get the people to create a communistic, to work together as a commune, having communistic principles and values in a capitalistic way. That's what we're trying to do. And we're trying to do it in a way where people, it's not communism. You know, it's using communism in a capitalistic way. We come together as a family, as one. So those who donate, the money will be going towards those who need it. You know what I'm saying? Helping others, one giving hand at a time. You understand? So you helping those in need. And it's like a big circle, you know. We help those in need. When they get on their feet, they'll be donating and help those in need. So we creating like this family environment, or this community environment with the people, while also making sure that the content, revolutionary content, or content that these powerful, elite, individual, privileged people and organizations who are trying to make it very hard on us and difficult for us, where we're grown and we can say we're grown, we do what we want to do because I'm grown, but everything we want to do ultimately benefits these organizations and certain people in privileged elite positions. You know what I'm saying? We're ultimately going in their direction that they want us to go. So we making sure this content stay alive because we want like-minded people. But that's the problem. It's very hard to find like-minded people in organizations because they're trying to save face. even churches, schools, they trying to save face. They don't want to work with a real organization that's about change. That's really about change. And if you see them working for change, I don't care what school it is. If they're not working with us, they're not really for it. You know? Because they got to watch what they do, watch what they say, got to make sure everything's this way. Okay, fine. You do that. You do that. And that's what you do. But we know it's fake. And those people who's really true about change and really want change, and I'm talking about change, people that like-minded that know about these things. World Bank, IMF, Federal Reserve, the Club of Rome, all right? The Royal Institute of International Affairs. People that know about these things, Trilateral Commission, United Nations, Lucy's Trust. People that know ID World, the World Congress, people that know about these stuff, the World Police, people that know about these organizations and know that they don't really mean well for the people. These are like-minded people. We want to work with you to provide better conditions for the people. You understand? That's what we're trying to do. And how you say we're going to do that? First, we get the like-minded people involved. We keep the content up there. There's a lot of stuff in here that shows what's going to happen and how they're doing it. The players, the certain organizations that's involved, okay? And how they are making us feel like this freedom is real freedom. In reality, it's not. And the very things that they're doing that's coming up next, in the next 20, 30 years, okay? It's all in that book. 366 pages of it, all right? Now, we want to get like-minded people. There's people that's going to like this book and that's going to be drawn into the book and that likes the book and purchase the book and support us because of they like the book. Will then support the organization, okay? And then we'll be able to help those people in need who feel like it was their fault or we did this or they're blaming other people. You know, we'll also make sure they understand the content that there's certain people in position of power that's making it hard for you. And it's up to us, whether you're Christian, I don't care if you believe in any God, and a God that's good, that actually cares for the people. Because, you know, Gandhi was not a Christian. Gandhi was not a Christian, but he was a good person. He believed in basically the same principles of a Christian that a Christian believes in, the same principles and values that they believe in, pretty much. You know, do as others as they do treat you. You know, try to treat everybody as brother and sister. Very, very so, very so. Okay, Gandhi in India was not a Christian, but he believed in very much the same principles. And I tell people, don't get spoon-fed the Bible from pastors, because they be spoon-fed from the pastoral colleges and things, the ranks that they had to go up. They've been spoon-fed it. They may read the Bible a little bit, and those that read the Bible and come out and do something completely different that probably pisses off the people, the heads of this institutionalized religion, who looks at them like, he's some street pastor or whatever, you know. Those people probably doing it, you know, because they read the Bible and they got something different from it. And that's what everybody should. When you're a Christian, you got to understand you are a leader. Don't get spoon-fed the Bible. You read the Bible for yourself, and what you get out of it is what it is, you know. And then you go and help people accordingly, okay? That's one thing you got to understand. And when you see people doing things like I'm doing, support that. This is real legit. This is what we do. We're trying to provide better concrete conditions for the people by getting like-minded people to support what we're trying to do, so then we can go and petition, protest, spread the information and the content that there's certain people in powerful positions that's controlling the way you think, that's controlling the way you feel, that's controlling the very essence of life, that you know it, that you know, okay? We're trying to make it so that, and really what we really want ultimately, of course, we're Americans. You born and raised here, you shouldn't pay taxes, right? But they're not going to do that. They're going to probably keep us having to pay taxes, because that's a certain way how they help. We help each other that way too, you know. Because you have child family services that exist because of taxes, okay? The whole reason it exists and how they pay their counselors and stuff, you know, is pretty much through taxes. But unlike For Better Conditions, Family Child Services, okay, and a lot of governmental programs don't take necessary living expenses in consideration. You know, just like when you have to pay child support. They don't care if you're paying a car note and you got to have a reliable car to drive miles away to work to pay child support. They don't care. Okay? Right? They don't care at Family Child Services that you got to pay $1,000 in rent because you want to live in a nicer neighborhood and send your children to better schools. Okay? They don't care. They say you make enough money. They don't take your expenses in consideration, that you got to pay this much in gas for you and your wife to get to work. We don't make enough money. They do not care. Us at For Better Conditions, even though we have requirements, an income requirement, we do take the necessary living expenses in consideration. We do take, that's why we call you. We are legit. We'll call you. We got the number right here. We're not hiding that number. We're not hiding that number. You know, we'll call you or you'll call us and let us know that, hey, we're spending too much in gas to get to work. Our rent is this much. Now, mind you, we're a true organization. Very legit, very professional. We need paperwork. All right? Gas, we'll figure that out. Okay? Don't worry about that. There's a way that we can work around that. We'll help, you know. But we take necessary living expenses in consideration. That's what we do. Unlike a lot of governmental programs, they don't. You know, how much you spend in groceries a month. We take that stuff in consideration. That's why we'll call you. Or you'll call us. We got the number right there, along with the website. That's the reason why a lot of people just have a website. You know, no, we got the number too. There's no, don't text us. We want to talk to you. We want to know. We want to hear that you really need the help. You know what I'm saying? So, we're there for you. Okay? So, when you purchase the book, it's like donating to the organization. All proceeds, all profit from the book will go towards the organization. The rest of the money from the book will be going towards buying more books so we can keep it going. Okay? Keep spreading that revolutionary content and trying to make a change. Okay? Alright. Ultimately, again, we know they're not going to try to get rid of taxes for us. So, we're probably going to be paying taxes. But being in America, being American, living in America all your life, being born and raised here, and then being in a relationship, in a marriage, being married for 30 years or 40 years, you should not have to pay a mortgage. You should not have to pay rent. Okay? If you travel this country by car, it's a lot of land. So much land. So much land. A lot of that land, they haven't even cut down the trees and nothing. Not saying we should cut down trees, but there's a lot of land where there's nothing growing on the farms, nothing. It's just sitting there, just land. Land. See, the problem is these organizations and certain people in powerful positions, they want to bottle you up and keep you all cornered in certain little cities and pockets in each state. You may call these cities or suburbs, you know, where you'll see those towers that give you the cell phone services used and it gives you internet. These towers, whereas if you travel by car and you go to the country, you realize that your phone may not work. You may not get internet service because they don't have those towers out there. You know, they try, and when you go, I mean, me and my wife, we just traveled the other day. We went out of state the other day. And we went to this place, you know, it's all country, right? A whole bunch of land. Some land's got cows and the little farm and stuff growing. And the rest is just nothing, you know. I'm like, man, this could be people that, you know, they could build homes with 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, and give it to people who've been married for 30, 40 years that's still paying rent or still paying a high mortgage. You know? Just give them beautiful homes. You've been married that long. You're born and raised in America. Thank you. Thank you. God has provided for you. The government is going to give you this. You know, pay taxes, man. We can at least give you this. You know, think about it. People will be married longer. And who gonna divorce after 30 years of marriage, 40 years of marriage, 30 years of marriage? Who gonna divorce after that? And now you got a house you own that's yours as a family. You know, now you don't have to pay rent no more. You got to free up money. Y'all can go and travel, do things. Who gonna get divorced right after that? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it might be years afterwards, but then they'll have to fight who keeps the house, you know. And if they don't have no kids or anything, they might lose the house. I mean, there's certain ways around that. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to hurt the economy whatsoever. It's just people scared. People scared. Don't be scared. It's what needs to be done. It's what needs to be done. Think about it. More people will be married longer. We'll have more support, more family support. All this stuff will happen. Think about it. If your parents own the home, all right, they're not paying mortgage. They're not paying rent. And they still working. They got money where they can help their children out. Here, take a couple $100, baby. You know, do what you got to do. You know, it's okay. Y'all go here. Why don't y'all go to the amusement park? Do something with your family. Let me help finance your wedding. You know, you'll get so much support from your family. A lot of people say, I already get that. Well, yeah. A lot of people don't, though. A lot of people don't. We live in America. There's more than just you in this world. There's a lot of people who don't have that privilege. You know, and we want to make sure to change. There's certain things like that makes a world of difference. But we got to get like-minded people. It has nothing to really do with religion. Just like-minded people that understand this. You know, to understand this whole thing. For better conditions. Get like-minded people to understand this. To provide better concrete conditions for the people. That's what we want. And I wanted to, reason why I also titled this, basically how to not pay child support. It's not to so people can not pay child support. You know what I'm saying? If you got children, you got to pay up. You know, whether if you're the woman that leaves and got a good job, or you're the man that leaves and got a good job, you got to pay for these children, man. Children, it ain't their fault. You know, they didn't come in this world because they wanted to. You know, you brought them into the world. Okay? Y'all know what y'all did to bring a child into this world, so you got to take care of it. But I've seen this article, and I wanted to share it with you. It's about the Donald Sterling situation. But it's certain loopholes that the rich, powerful, elite people that has. You know what I'm saying? That's not available or easily available towards common people like you and I. Newspaper, I think it was the Time magazine. Okay, so this magazine goes on and talks about a little thing called the friendship agreement. So people, this is for people who are like serial seducers of other people. Like Donald Sterling, for example, and his little girlfriend he had. You know, obviously he's a serial seducer when it comes to women. Okay? Old guy, but he know how to get women. He know what certain women want in life in order to get them involved with them. Okay? To an extent. And he'll have them sign a friendship agreement, which in many elite circles is known as the mistress contract. Now, a lot of people, you know, will say you got to have, you don't worry about it. You have opposite friends as opposite sex as friends. You have opposite sex fine when you're in a relationship. You got a lot of people who tell you that. But the rich, the very rich, know that because they know they're very principle driven. Obviously, you got to have your principles about yourself to be wealthy. You know, you got to carry yourself a certain way. You know, you can't carry yourself like trash. So they know that, you know, if I have opposite sex as friends, it may very well mess up my marriage, my relationship with my wife, and my family, and my kids. So you have to sign a friendship agreement. Because one thing may lead to another. Next thing you know, you're sleeping with this opposite sex's friend. This opposite sex friend, you know. So they protect themselves with this friendship agreement, which in many circles is called the mistress contract. And Times Magazine say they tend to have extremely heavy confidential clauses so that if you broke up and you learned something about a celebrity, client, or a captain of industry, one of these elite, powerful, rich people, right? You're not going to write a book about them or go off and, you know, trying to live off telling people stories and things like that, you know, trying to break up their home and stuff, because if the wife don't know about them, you know what I'm saying? So you sign this contract called friendship agreement. Maybe the wife even knew. In this case, the wife knew about the girl. You know, Shelley Sterling, Donald Sterling's wife, knew about the girlfriend. All right? Because she was suing her. So she knew about her. But I don't think Shelley Sterling probably knew about the contract that was signed. Okay? It says they usually have some kind of clause that say if there are any disputes rising out of the relationship, they're going to be dealt with in arbitration or with a private judge. They're not going to go to the general courthouse where all files are public. Okay? So these people are rich enough to probably buy a judge or purchase a kind of, bribe the judge. You say you can't bribe a judge, but there's many ways. There's loopholes. The loopholes of the rich, man. Many ways you can bribe somebody without actually making it seem like a bribe. This judge, okay, it was not judge, but the NAACP, the president of the Los Angeles NAACP chapter who stepped down, he was a judge before. I think he was a judge in Detroit, if I'm not mistaken. Okay? But him and Donald Sterling had, they had a decent relationship, because he was donating money to NAACP. Probably to protect his image, Donald Sterling's image as being a racist, obviously. But I'm pretty sure it was much more to it. Judges have nonprofits as well. Nonprofits, when you put money into their nonprofit, that could be a bribe. Donald Sterling got money. So he gives you $45,000 towards an organization that you're a part of, or that's yours. Would you not consider that person a friend? Somebody who you could come to in need? I'm just saying, this is how the world works. We live in a capitalistic society. Nothing wrong with it, but we got to know how it works. We got to know how it works. And when you have these certain clauses, it could be a clause in there that specifically say that if you get pregnant with our relationship, during the time of our relationship, and I'm showering you with these gifts, buying you houses, clothes, cars, I don't owe no child support. And you probably like, what? You can't do that. You can't do that. Child support law gonna trump that law. You're a grown person signing a contract, an agreement. You must have read this. That's why even when a judge gives you papers, you read that mug. You read that like, Judge, I need time to read this before I put my signature on it. They hate that because you smart. They hate that because you smart. You take your time and you read that crap. Because you're a grown person. You know how to read. You're reading it. And if you see that, why sign it? You sign it because you're thinking, I'm not going to have no kids with this old man. I'm just going to use him for his money. It's what it is, a friendship agreement, right? Right? As a female, right? And then eventually you end up sleeping with the guy. Because one thing leads to another. You got to understand the whole thing about being in a relationship. You try to lure the person in. You may lure them in with the way you look, the way you smell, or buying them gifts and showering, making them feel real special. Okay? So you don't know. You're a grown person. Why would you sign something like that? You sign it because this person's going to give you houses and cars and clothes. Provide this princess world for you. And you might find yourself in bed with that person. Then you find yourself pregnant. And you can't get no child support because the contract you signed trumps the child support law. Because here it is, you signed it beforehand. You don't believe me. Here it is. You have Shelley Sterling's attorney, Pierce O'Donnell. He's on record saying that we live in a nation of laws, rules, and regulations. We live in a nation of laws, rules, and regulations. He says here, when it comes to Shelley Sterling, who wanted to keep the LA Clippers, keep her side of it, okay? Under the NBA Constitution, if a controlling owner's interest is terminated, which was Donald Sterling's, by a 3/4 vote, all other team owners' interests automatically terminated as well. And that's according to the NBA Constitution, right? But the NBA Constitution, their agreement, did not put in there trusts. What about if the owner owns a trust? Which the trusts have their own laws. But the protection that comes with having a trust, and it goes on, for your assets, if you have a trust for your assets, according to state or federal law, is that if one person comes under fire that is a part of that trust, all other trust members are legally protected. All right? Now, this is where it gets tricky. That's why you need lawyers. Okay? Because there's certain laws that trump other laws. Yes, that's true. That's very true. But the reason why you need lawyers is because if the NBA Constitution, their agreement, put in there that this also includes trusts, that then will make trust obsolete. So then Shelley Sterling would have to give it up. they wouldn't be trying to purchase it from her, which is what they did. If she gave up her ownership, it's because they offered her amount of money that she took and agreed upon. You know, everybody's trying to save face, mind you, just like what we trying to do, work with other organizations. They're afraid to work with us because, why are they afraid to work with us? Because of their PR. They wonder how it's going to look with their public relations, that they're working with an organization that's all about telling truth and spreading this type of content, trying to get like-minded people to support better concrete conditions, where they going around saying, hey, if you last 30, 40 years in a marriage, you should have a house, a home, a free home, where you're not paying a mortgage or rent for. These organizations will be under fire. You know, people may, you know, they might not get the help from these organizations, the World Bank, IMF, Federal Reserve, United Nations, which is a lot of people from them probably give a lot of money to those organizations so that they won't work with organizations like us. So they will not work with organizations like us. You see? That's what we into. That's what we, you know. Jesus was against institutionalized religion. Don't be spoon-fed that Bible. Read it for yourself. Read it for yourself. The very high hierarchies within the religion didn't like him because they felt threatened by him. And when the people feel threatened by our organization because we're coming in strong, telling the truth, and we got this content with us that's backing it up, they don't want to work with you because they feel like, whoa, our position is threatened here. We might not get any more money. We might not be where we are. Fine, that's okay with you. We're looking to be strong off the strength of the people, helping others one giving hand at a time. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So Shelly Sterling was Donald Sterling's wife, who knew about the girl. Her attorney, Shelly Sterling's attorney, Donald Sterling's wife attorney, Pierce O'Donnell, is on record saying, of course, we live in a nation of laws, rules, and regulations. The California law, United States Constitution trumps the NBA's self-serving interpretation of its own constitution. That's what he's going on record saying. Because the NBA messed up and did not include trust in the contract. Where the NBA says, and it's right, you know, if they didn't have a trust, she would have to give up her ownership of the team. According to the NBA Constitution, if a controlling owner's interest is terminated by a 3/4 vote, which it was, all other team owners' interests are automatically terminated as well. We couldn't do it because Donald Sterling had a trust. This is where lawyers come in, because lawyers know the law. You know, and the law is very tricky. It's all about words and language. Everything is couched in the language of stuff. We have to understand that. You have to understand the language of things. We've got to. That's the loopholes that they know. It's all within the language. You know, yeah, you say this, but then the trust protects me against this. So I'm protect. You know what I'm saying? It's like chess. You know, you gotta checkmate. You know, so basically Donald Sterling and the Sterlings checkmated. Like, if you're gonna give up, you want us to give up our ownership of the team, offer us some money. You know, that's the only way we're gonna give it up. We're not gonna just give it up. We gotta trust. So we done already ate that up. You know, so that don't apply to us. You know, I could get in trouble, but hey, my wife, Sterling's still gonna own this team until you offer us an amount of money that we'll be happy with. You know, so that's what happened. That's what happened. All right. So if she gave up her ownership of the team, it's because they offered her money. So as the same thing goes with the friendship agreement. If somebody say, if you get a child, I don't owe you no money because I'm gonna shower you with gifts, and you signed it beforehand, it's gonna trump that. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's gonna trump the child support laws, because that's not a handwritten. You didn't sign off on that. Nobody signs off on that child support law. That's a law that's right, that's given, but you sign off on this, which then will just eat that up. You know, it's like a protection. You know, and that's why people sign a friendship agreement. That's why these rich people will get women to sign that friendship agreement to protect themselves. Because you got things like palimony, which is like alimony for people who's not married and stuff like that. And when you're rich, you want to be able to protect yourself on that end. A lot of things, you know. But you should not have opposite sex as friends. And once you do, you probably want to go. You probably really want to have them sign your opposite sex friends sign that friendship agreement, because it could tear you up from both. If you got money and you well off, it could tear you off from both ends. So please, now that you may know this, please donate to the organization Purchase the book. If you don't want to donate and feel like you're not getting nothing from it, purchase the book. You get some information, you get the content that's needed. You understand that certain people in position that's making you think the way you think, making you feel the way you feel. You are not who you say you are. You're not who you think you are. You are what they want you to be. So you got to get that book to understand that. And all proceeds from the book goes to the organization. MeetYourDini.com, forbetterconditions.org. Support the cause. Support the cause.